Alright, how's everyone doing today? Now, I'm going to WrestleMania this weekend, so I'll be gone till like Tuesday. But I couldn't leave you all with nothing. Got to give you something to chew on, some ideas to think of. And I've been fortunate enough to be gifted some very interesting rumors about Zack Snyder, Warner Brothers, the DCEU. And these are rumors, but everything technically is a rumor until it's actually confirmed by Warner Brothers or the people in charge of making these movies. But I want to thank Mitchell Sigal, and I probably butchered that name, but I want to thank him for giving me all this information. I've been talking to him a lot. He's a fellow YouTuber. He does reactions and stuff. I'll put a link to his channel. You can check out his videos. He nerds out hard about comic book movies, so he's definitely fun to watch. But he has a source. Somebody that's a friend that works for the Warner Brothers marketing department that's been leaking him information. Most recently, the Shazam front photo. He was like the first one to see it. And we had a conversation that was pretty jaw-dropping. And I asked him if I could share this information. And he said yes. So I thought I'd share it with everybody. Now to me, all this information, there's something that sounds true about it, right? It just sounds true. I don't know how to explain it. But maybe it's because I already want to believe that this is true. But also, if you're being objective, the facts do make a logical sense, Everything does kind of like line up. So let's get into it. First of all, let me just start out with some facts. Zack Snyder was not fired from Justice League. He really did leave because of his daughter's death. Joss Whedon was let go after Justice League. Alright, so those are the facts right now. Everything else is conjecture, including this. But here is the first news tidbit that no media site, no press junkets, nobody has ever talked about, right? And that is that the Warner Brothers executives in charge of the DCEU have been trying to clean up the mess that was Justice League. And we're not talking about, what Zack Snyder did. We're talking about the actual, producers being let go, like John Berg, Jeff Johns, and even Joss Whedon that was let go recently. And they all left after Justice League. Now, Jeff Johns is still an active chief creative officer at DC, but he is not a producer on the DC films right now. Walter Hamada was just brought on to be the new DC Films president, as we all know. And this source of Sigal gave him information about the behind the scenes of Justice League that correspond with another video I did a few weeks ago, Don't Stop Believin'. Right? Remember that rumor I was talking about? That somebody said Hamada saw the cut of Justice League and loved it, and he brought Zack Snyder back to finish it? Well, this source that Sigal has, this friend of Sigal, he said the same exact thing. So that's suspect right there. If you have two different people that never met each other, and they're saying the same exact thing, there's something going on, right? This might be an element of truth to it. And that truth is, Walter Hamada did see the Snyder Cut Justice League. Whether he reached out to Snyder or not, still up in the air. But I think it could be safe to say that he has seen that version of Justice League. Now, technically, those things I just said are all rumors, but they sound true, don't they? They sound like they line up. Warner Brothers gets rid of all their executives that were involved with Justice League, at least the ones that had the most control, right? And they replace them, and the new guy they replace actually loved the Snyder Cut, and he tries to get Snyder back to finish it. Snyder still works for Warner Brothers. So, everything I'm saying is not like a stretch, It seems logical, especially because of the fact that Zack Snyder is still working with WB to make The Last Photograph, right now, right? That's what he's about to do, is make that movie. And on IMDb, his next two films for Zack Snyder have him listed for The Last Photograph and Justice League Part 2. Obviously, they haven't updated it, but it's interesting that he's still listed as doing both those films for Warner Brothers right now. And that's not all we talked about. Me and Mitchell Sigal, that's not all we talked about. There's another bombshell big rumor that we talked about, and that was confirmed by his buddy that's in the marketing department of Warner Brothers, right? And before I get into this rumor, I want to give this source a little bit more credibility, because not only did he leak the original front shot of Shazam, not only did this source leak that, but back in 2016, he told Sigal when Batman vs. Superman was coming out, right? When it hit theaters, he told Sigal that there would be a director's cut of Batman vs. Superman weeks before it was announced, okay? Weeks before it was announced, he told Sigal, and this is a direct quote, Zack got his wish, and we will get his cut in mid to late summer. So not only did this guy leak the first image of the front shot of Shazam, right? But he also was telling Sigal that the Ultimate Edition of BVS would be released in the summer after BVS's initial release. So this guy's been reliable a couple times already. So now that you know that, let's get into the other big bombshell rumor that is yet to be reported on any news site, and it probably will start getting reported on probably in the next couple weeks. And it has to do with the Matt Reeves Batman film. And I want to stress again, this is not 100% confirmed. In fact, this is most likelihood just a rumor. But since it's coming from this source, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And if it's true, this is a huge bombshell. This is a huge major bombshell. And that's that the Zack Snyder production company, Cruel and Unusual Films, has entered in contract with WB to help make the Batman movie with Matt Reeves. Now that is a huge bombshell, okay? Because everybody wants to say Zack Snyder is out. He has nothing more to do with these DC films. They scrapped all his plans. I was even thinking that back in the last video, right? That all his plans were scrapped. But, if everything that I've said so far is to be true, then that means Warner Brothers realizes the mistakes they made on Justice League, that they didn't scrap all their plans, and they're going to try to salvage what they have and build on what they have. And we know from past interviews that Matt Reeves is excited to work with Ben Affleck if he gets the opportunity, and Ben Affleck is also excited to work with Matt Reeves. All right, so you got a couple people that want to work with each other, and you got Zack Snyder, who's responsible for casting Ben Affleck and also responsible for putting the best Batman action scene on film. So yes, of course you would want his production company to be involved in making the Batman film so we can get more action scenes like that, right? So it would seem that Ben Affleck will be Batman in the Matt Reeves Batman film. Whether it's like how Film Junkie said a few days ago that Ben Affleck will be an older version and they'll do a past version, a younger version of Ben Affleck, right? And Ben Affleck will be like the present day narrator. If they do something like that, that could work. But either way, it's looking like Ben Affleck will be in the Batman movie, according to Sigal's source and the enthusiasm by Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck. It does seem like that's the case. Like, logically speaking, it all fits. And the last little tidbit of information that has to do with the Batman is that it will start shooting this summer, and there's no release date for the movie yet. So if all this information I've said so far, all these rumors and stuff I've been talking about with Mitchell, if all this is true, then we'll know by the end of this summer, right? We'll know by Comic-Con whether or not any of this is true. So take it with a grain of salt. Think about it. Think about what it could mean. And, we'll know if it's true or not. In like 3 months, we'll know if any of this is true. So yeah, that's it for now. I just wanted to share those tidbits of information. I think they all kind of make sense. Warner Brothers executives released John Berg and Jeff Johns and Josh Whedon because they saw that Justice League was a mess because of those people. And they brought on new talent like Hamana to start salvaging the DCEU. Hamana saw the Snyder Cut Justice League. He loved it. He reached out to Zack Snyder to finish it. They are going to finish the Snyder Cut. They are going to salvage what Snyder has done and continue what he has done. And Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck are going to work on the Batman movie. It'll start shooting this summer, and Zack Snyder's production company, Cruel and Unusual Films, will be helping make the Batman movie. So ponder all that. Think about that, discuss, get your minds racing, because this might be true. It might be true. It's coming from a source that's been right before. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be right, but it just means that, the likelihood of it being right, it's better. It's like instead of a 1% chance, it's more of like a 10% chance that this is true, right? So think about the information. Let me know your thoughts on it down below, and I'll see you guys next week when I'm back from Mania. I'll probably post some WrestleMania vids, so look forward to all that. And have a great weekend. I'll see everybody next week. Bye.